All right, hey, what's going on? Part two of this back-to-back doubleheader. I don't know what to do with the vlog. I'm gonna have to work out some kind of tag team line to get the vlog on where to the new spot where I want it to be. Uh, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Okay, let's see. Let's get right into it before something happens. Okay, this is pretty much part two of this back-to-back doubleheader. Uh, okay, I'll leave it. Uh, inside look type of story last. Okay, back to the strange saga of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This has been the most craziest cold stories ever, especially when you're dealing with a guy that got arrested, got set free, and now he's pretty much being uh, held for now, I think, somewhere. But let's get right into it. Put a safety net on this story. Uh, Safety net on this story. Kimar Abrego Garcia taken into ICE custody. But I don't really got no follow up on this story, so we just gonna roll with it, where it is. It's brought to you by NBC News. Uh, Published August 25th, 2025 at 8:17 p.m. Updated August 25th, 2025 at 6:45 p.m. Baltimore, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who reunited with his family last week after 160 days apart following his mistaken deportation to El Salvador. From El Salvador, was taken into ICE custody Monday after immigration check-in, but a judge later ruled that they cannot deport him for now. So pretty much a judge. But let me go on. I'll offer commentary after that. After I read the story. The check-in with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Baltimore was part of the conditions of his release Friday from federal custody. Wow. Which such meetings are usually routine and meant for case updates. Abrego's attorney had expected that he would be taken into ICE custody after the Trump administration over the weekend announced its intention to deport him to Uganda. There was no need to take him into ICE detention. The only reason they took him into detention was to punish him. That's exactly right. For exercising his constitutional right to speak up and fight proceedings, said Simon Sandoval Moshenberg, one of Abrego's attorneys. Monday afternoon, Sandoval Moshenberg said Abrego was being held in a detention center in Virginia. Abrego was deported in March, but returned to the United States on June 6th after he was indicted and charged with transporting within the United States people who were not legally in the country. He has denied the allegations. Here's basically the timeline of this whole case. Point one: Abrego Garcia was deported to El Salvador in March because of what officials described as an administrative error. In April, and judge ordered the Trump administration to return Abrego, spurring a legal back and forth that involved the Supreme Court. Abrego was returned to the United States on June 6th after an indictment in the federal court in Nashville, Tennessee. The indictment charged Abrego with transporting within the United States people who were not legally in the country. He was released from federal custody on parole Friday and had a tearful reunion with his family after months apart. Minutes after his release, immigration authorities notified Abrego that they intend to deport him to Uganda. My goodness. To Uganda. Separately, the Trump administration offered him a plea deal that would ensure his eventual deportation to Costa Rica. Abrego filed a new lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Maryland seeking to ensure that he is not removed from the United States pending his immigration proceedings. The lawsuit asked federal judge to issue an order that Abrego not be allowed to be removed from the United States unless he is given proper due process to fight his potential deportation. The suit challenges Abrego's deportation to Uganda or any other country until he has had a fair trial, Sandoval Moshenberg said. He later argued that deporting his client is to any country without any credible assurances that he could stay there would be just a very inconvenient layover to El Salvador. At a hearing Monday afternoon, U.S. District Judge Paula Enix ordered that Abrego must remain stayed or detained in the United States, temporarily blocking his deportation to Uganda. She holds an evidentiary hearing. Ennis said that there is several grounds on which there may be jurisdiction for her to exercise relief. Among them, that Uganda had not agreed to offer Abrego protection. Wow. Like being able to walk freely, being given refugee status, not being redeported to El Salvador. For his ICE check-in and an appointment and detainment Monday morning, Abrego addressed the reporters surrounded by his family and support borders, faith leaders, and his legal team who were all calling for his freedom. My name is Kilmore Abrego Garcia, and I want you to remember this. Remember that I am free. I'm able to be reunited with my family, he said in Spanish before a translator repeated in English. This was a miracle. Thank you, God, and thank you to the community. He added, I want to thank each and every one of you who marched, lift up your voice, and never stop praying. Continue to fight in my name. The government says Abrego was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March in violation of the 2019 court order. After much legal resistance, he was returned to the United States in June and hit with human smuggling charges. Out of Tennessee, of course, red as can be, which he pleaded not guilty to. The Trump administration has repeatedly accused Abrego of being a member of a notorious M13 gang, which his attorneys have denied. His lawyers have said that he illegally immigrated to the United States when he was 16 to join his brother in Maryland to escape gang violence in El Salvador. And they transport him back to El Salvador. The Trump administration offered Abrego a plea deal last week. His lawyer said in the court filing stated that that was part of their efforts to get the charges in Tennessee dropped over what they consider a vindictive and selective prosecution. If he pleads guilty to the federal charges out of Tennessee and serves time, he can be deported to Costa Rica. The Costa Rican government said that he would live as a free man there, according to the filing. Sandoval Motionberg said Abrego would not accept a plea deal as he will not accept changes of which he is not guilty. But Sandoval Motionberg said that if Abrego is deported to Costa Rica instead of Uganda, that would be a perfectly reasonable option. You better believe it. Even if they were if they were named Spain as a country, unless they've got guarantees he can stay that country. All he is really a way station on the way right back to El Salvador, where it's already been established that he can't go. So Sandoval Motionberg said Monday, meet the press now. And that's what we have from Costa Rica right now. Assurances of refugee status. Assurances that they are not deport them. Well, Sandoval Motionberg said. While the Abrego case has received a lot of attention, there has been others who have allegedly been deported erroneously, Sandoval Motionberg said. He said he has gotten emails from more than a dozen other immigration lawyers, and the same thing happened to their clients. This whole business with third country removals is really brand new. It's just something that started, Sandoval Motionberg said. We thought that Abrego Garcia was sort of a one-of-a-kind case, he said, but it turned out to be just the tip of the spear. Woo-woo. Man. All this nonsense and drama. Whew. Well, basically, this is America. That's all I can say on this story. My goodness, you shipped the guy back to the place where he was trying to escape from, as far as being as far as the gang element, and you ship him straight back there. And then now you ship him back here, and if it wasn't for the judge, you'd be still trying to ship him out of the United States. Hmm. It's a trip. It's a whole story, and with his name on the title. Because they made a mistake. And you end up wanting to ship them back to Uganda to cover up that mistake. Like I said, this is America. Yeah, this is America. They had them in detention centers in Virginia. But here's the kicker. If I can find that, yeah, it sums up the whole thing. To check in with the U.S. immigration, these first four paragraphs of his story. Kemar Abrego Garcia, who reunited with his family last week after 160 days apart following his mistaken deportation in El Salvador, was taken into ICE custody Monday after the immigration check-in, but a judge later ruled that he cannot be deported for now. The check-in with Working with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Baltimore was part of the conditions of his release Friday in federal custody. While such meetings are usually routine, meant for case updates, Brago's attorney had expected he would be taken into ICE custody after the Trump administration over the weekend announced his intentions to deport him to Uganda. There was no need to take him into ICE detention. The only reason why they took him into detention was to punish him for exercise his constitutional right to speak up and fight proceedings, said Simon Sandoval Moshenberg, one of Brago's attorneys. That's what it's all about. They want people that they can push around and push over. And they can't stand nobody that can speak up for themselves or fight for themselves. All right, let's move on to the final story. Pretty much an interesting story. I just say, look into the past, the busing history of Louisville, or how the school's busing helped or hurt Louisville kids. Explore the issues 50 years later. Okay. School busing helped or hurt Louisville kids. Events will explore the issues 50 years later. 50 years later. So basically, this is pretty much, I guess, an editorial looking into what this decision that came to be 50 years ago. Okay, this brought you back to the Courier Journal. Shout out to my friend for giving this donation to the vlog. Okay. Has school busing helped or hurt Louisville kids? Events explored the issue 50 years later. Violent protests broke out across the city in opposition to integrating schools, but there were also people who pushed desegregation, believing it would benefit students. Has it? Like I said, this is brought to you by the Louisville Courier Journal, publisher being Vita Morgan. Updated August 25th, 2025 at 11:21 a.m. 21 a.m. Let's see if I can get it on the browser. Kind of too big. Yeah, kind of too big. Just a minute. There we go. Let's get right into it. Well, it's still too big. It's been 50 years since court ordered busing ignited a firestorm in Louisville. As still two public school systems divided by race and economics were forced to integrate. Was it the right thing to do, but handled the wrong way? I don't want to subscribe. He didn't pop up ads. Okay. Did it help the students but hurt others? Was it right? Are we better off now because of the 1974 U.S. District Court decision forcing Louisville and Jefferson County schools to desegregate? Is Jefferson County public schools 50 years later headed in the right direction? Courier Journal, in partnership with HAS 11, will explore these issues and more during a community conversation on busing. At 6 Wednesday, at 6 p.m. Wednesday, September 17th, at the Academy of Shawnee, the event called 50 Years After Busing, a community conversation will look back in the history of busing, where we are today, what's next for our kids. You will hear from Tracy K. Myers, Professor of History at the University of Louisville, John Marshall, Chief Equity Officer at JCPS, Carletta Bell, JCPS Principal, and Raymond Burse, Louisville Branch NAACP President. Her Journal Education reporter Crystal Johnson will host a community conversation which will be streamed live on WHAS 11 and CourierJournal.com. The event also will feature rarely seen photos and video footage from the mid 1970s when the integration order took effect, as well as video interviews with people who were personally impacted, busing in its aftermath. In 1975, violent protests broke out across the city in opposition to integrating schools, but there were also people who pushed for desegregation, believing it would benefit students, especially those in the predominantly black city system that was on the brink of collapse. Their system lacked resources found in the mostly white country system. And the NAACP was one of the organizations that filed suit because of the inequity. The event is open to the public. Come out and join the conversation. Here's all the details. Oh, so basically that's pretty much the announcement. So like a town hall meeting. Oh, the uh, conversation starter. Basically looking back at 50 years on the desegregation of busing and how and pretty much did it really help or didn't. So so pretty much if you want to head on down, go to it. Let me read the details and wrap this up. Man. Oh well, let's wrap this up. Tripping. Okay. The subject: 50 years after busing, a community conversation. When 6 p.m. Wednesday, September 17th. Where the cameo at Shawnee Auditorium at 401 Herman Street. 4001 Herman Street. So there you have it. There's the details to get there. Oh, and it sounded like a good conversation. Good conversation starter as far as the reason why they're getting together. And but they'll do it though. Yeah, we'll do it though. Rough bringing pretty much producing these two back-to-back episodes, but but we got them done. That's the way of the Wi-Fi. Gotta always have a plan B. Hopefully, this web camera has recorded my this last episode, and okay. Okay, let's wrap this up. Like I said, this is sound like a good conversation. Get together at Shawnee at 4001 Herman Street. As if you want to go take pretty much taking a look back at the busing situation, and pretty much they're saying, did it hurt the kids eventually, or did it help them? But that would do it. Here's another episode of the Reporter Vlog. Nope. It's the episode of the Reporter Vlog. Like I said, if you want to get in touch with this vlog, I'm pretty much on Facebook now. I'm still gonna make it a new spot work. I just gotta get a way to have, make it a way as far as transporting, uploading them each episode's on there some kind of way. But we'll get it done. We'll make it work. God willing, and but that'll do it. Y'all have a good one. I'm gone.